Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome to the first Planning Committee of Horsham Town Council. We have the agenda in front of us, and I'd like to start with item 1, which is to elect a chair. Are there any nominations, please, for chair of this committee?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Tony Franklin.
Thank you, Councillor Bob.
Second
that. Councillor Grant. Thank you very much. Any other nominations? No. So, are you all in favour of Councillor Franklin?
Yes, agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much. Agreed. Thank you, Councillor Franklin. If you'd like to, do you want to sit in?
Oh, there's other people on. It's online, is it?
Yes, we are being streamed. Paper copy there if that's easier.
Is that the agenda?
Yeah, that's the agenda.
Yeah, we'll need that, haven't we? There's no signal in here, is there?
Wi-Fi should be, yeah. But the code's on the wall.
I don't need that then.
Okay.
So, right, first item on the evening all, and I'm delighted to be initiating the first planning meeting of the new town council. A little bit of a surprise to be chaired, but an honour nonetheless. So, firstly, apologies.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Please.
So we have apologies from Councillor D. Thompson, he has a travel commitment, and Councillor A. Claridge, who has a meeting commitment. Thank you.
Very good. Secondly, are there any declarations of interest from any members in respect to the business to be transacted and the items in the agenda?
No. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Question, I guess, being a ward member on HTC, is that an interest or just a...
Not unless it's relevant to any of the planning applications yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of them, 1, 2, 3, 2 in our ward.
Yeah.
It's a serious case of whether it falls in what ward or anything, but I was just sort of thinking, we've got our ward member status declared on our statements of interest, haven't we? So
yes.
If there's any additional relevance to be highlighted here, but
yeah.
I mean, like, okay. I sort of see my role on those as it's the same role, really. Yeah. Am I okay with that?
Yeah, because you're consultees on these, on this committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The next item is public participation. I don't know if that's something we should bring up now or on at the relevant part of the agenda.
Yeah. But, so we would normally group everybody that wants to speak on this item, and we do have one request this evening, a lady called Jenny, and she'd like to speak about the 82 Bedford Road planning application. Is it you that's speaking, Jenny?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Do you want me to come up there or sit here? What would you prefer me to do?
What are you most comfortable doing?
I prefer to sit here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I prepared it in writing, so to read it out, because I want to make sure I've covered everything.
And sorry, is it something we should do now?
Yeah.
Yes,
so
please.
that the public can resume it, so they can leave if they want to.
Exactly.
Okay, good idea. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
That's okay.
So, okay.
Okay, cool. Chairs and members of the committee, I am speaking today on behalf of the community around the area to object to the planning application to extend 82 Bedford Road. It represents not only overdevelopment, but a pattern of serious planning breaches, inaccuracies, and ongoing disruption that has caused significant stress to neighbouring residents for nearly a year. This more Victorian terrace property is being transformed into an intensive 6-bedroom HMO that is completely out of keeping with the character and capacity of the surrounding area. The extensions that have already been part built cover almost the entire garden, extend far beyond neighbouring properties, despite the smaller plot size, and create an unacceptable sense of bulk and enclosure. The plans propose extremely poor living standards, including no natural light in the only communal living space and virtually no usable outdoor amenity space. There is no accessible second exit should a fire occur at the front of the house. This is because in an HMO environment, the two rear bedrooms in the new extensions will have their doors locked. The extension on the side return is already completed. Having looked at neighbouring properties, no one else seems to have built in the side return, as they have done, so it is entirely out of keeping. There are also major concerns regarding the accuracy of the submitted plans. The proposed drawings include land outside the applicant's ownership, a shared access passage and land owned jointly by myself and numbers 80 and 82. The strip at the back is owned by number 80 and our deeds verify this. The plans contain inconsistencies regarding ceiling heights, chimney structures, block brickwork that is out of keeping and missing ventilation arrangements. What has actually been built does not match what has been submitted. There is absolutely no consideration for parking, bins or storage for a maximum of 12 adults, nor for surface water drainage when most of the plot is built over. Works commenced despite planning application not being granted. Foundations appear to have been built directly over or extremely close to a shared public sewer without the required southern water consent or statutory clearance distances. 6 ensuite bathrooms are also connected to unsuitable Victorian drainage infrastructure, raising concerns regarding sewage surcharging, smells and future drainage failures. Since the new owner bought the property in July last year, there have been numerous issues. Despite the property having a historical improvements notice, as stated in the Savills auction listing, tenants were moved in immediately, with viewings taking place as late as 10 p.m. at night. One serious issue involved an electrical meter bypass with exposed live wires in the shared alley, which led to the power being disconnected for safety reasons. The construction itself has been deeply distressing for neighbours. Building works have now continued for approximately 5 months, and the situation overall has gone on for nearly a year. Residents have experienced constant disruption, and for me personally, it has caused anxiety and sleepless nights. There have been a continual turnover of unknown contractors attending the site, and on one occasion I felt sufficiently intimidated to call the police. A contractor dragged a digger along the side of my house where a gas pipe lays, and then proceeded to laugh at me through the window. Additionally, the property had its door kicked in at about 4 in the morning, shortly after the works began, which required police attendance. Another neighbour called the police on that occasion. The site remains unsafe. For example, there is an unsupported roof structure and they have left exposed foundations totally open to the elements for a period of time. Despite all of this, neighbouring residents have received virtually no communication from the owners. Serious concerns raised with the approved inspector and building control company, Dunwoody, have been completely ignored. Given the number of inaccuracies, planning concerns and apparent breaches already identified, I strongly urge the Council to require a full site inspection involving planning compliance, HMO licensing and southern water. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very clear. I guess, do any members wish to comment on this?
I was going to say, yeah, if members want to ask any specific questions or have anything they want to clarify, is there anyone? If not, could I ask Jenny, would you be prepared to leave your paper with me, please, with those comments?
Yes.
Thank you.
I've got extra copies of it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to point out, in case you weren't already aware, that to date, there've already been 17 objections. And we understand that more are forthcoming in the next few days. They probably haven't been uploaded yet.
I think there's a time limit in Horsham.
So the Italians, thankfully, weekend, so they have to do
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of anger down the street. I mean, I could go on and on at this for a long time, but I think hopefully that kind of summarises a year of stress. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Copy of-
Do we know if and when this is coming to planning?
Well,
So
well, I expect with the number of objections, it may go to committee anyway because of that. Sorry,
Well, I
Martin.
was just going to say, they won't decide, the district council won't have decided yet whether, what the officer recommendation is. But if the officer recommendation were to approve, then the fact that there's already been more than 8 objections from individual households would mean that it would go to committee anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's highly likely that one of two things will happen. Either officer recommendation will be to refuse, or it will go to planning committee decision.
Okay.
And at planning committee decisions, once again, you can register to speak at those.
And what is the timescales usually? So the consultation closes on Thursday for the public.
Well, they're supposed to determine planning applications within 8 weeks of when they're submitted, but it can be longer than that if more, if they get extension time because they need more information. So it's really too hard to say when it's going to be. But I think it's highly likely that unless it was going to be refused outright, then it would go to planning committee at NPT for a decision.
I don't know whether it's allowed, but there's another member of the public who's turned up who might be able to comment on those timelines as well. Ruth is head of planning.
So I presume it would be 82 days.
I am, yes.
So yes, obviously there are a lot of objections on the portal, so it will it could get called to planning committee if the recommendation is to approve.
Okay.
As we've discussed, it's not necessarily problems with it are not necessarily planning objections as much as things to do with a potential HMO, which isn't officially it being a potential HMO, which it isn't yet, and to do with building regulations in terms of the drains, the forest, the waters, and so on. So
I mean, some of it doesn't relate to planning, for example, character. I mean, the breakwork, for example, the fact that going back beyond 3 metres, that those are planning, things like that. But
well,
on
3
the other,
metres is what we considered having to have a planning application. But to be honest, 3 metres doesn't mean that it needs to be refused.
Yeah.
But you're right, there is there's a sort of there appears to be a discrepancy in the brickwork, isn't there?
yeah,
And that does sound a bit odd to me that would be
Thanks, Ruth.
acceptable.
Yeah, I think so. I think what I'm seeing here is there's a lot, we're starting to get into the detail. I think it's absolutely right that you've raised the profile of this in this forum.
and
Sounds
it's
like
massively stressful, which is,
I totally understand.
So this is why I'm here, because it's my home, and
Yeah.
we've had strange people coming up and down our alley. They're now trying to claim ownership of land that they don't legally own, and our deeds verify that. So that is, to me, the last straw, the fact they're trying to do that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've absolutely raised the profile of it here, and I think it will get properly focused on HDC. Nick, were you trying to get in to add anything to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I will come in. Just one thing, I don't know if I need to declare it or not, but I am chair of the licensing committee at HDC, and this kind of, if it's a Venn diagram, gently touches on it because of the HMO licensing perspective. So
Okay.
just to
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe final point, someone mentioned it, but absolutely recommend going to the planning committee meeting when it happens and speaking up. And if there are others to speak about planning matters relating to it, turn up because people do listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Martin.
I think just for clarity, I'm sure you're already aware of this, but as a town council on this, we are a consultee of the district council, so we're not a decision maker on this. What we can do is we can give our view or raise certain points, but those have to be also to a certain extent on the planning application that is before us on planning grounds. And I don't dispute any of the points that you make or countermand any of the points regarding HMO. But in terms of as a planning application, that's not what's being applied for. So we have to comment on the planning application.
Yeah,
as
I
it
get
is.
that, I get that, but what, I mean, what about the fact that they're trying to change their boundary? That's quite a fundamental thing in terms of the
Actually-
square footage of the.
Actually, that's more of a legal point than a planning
Yes.
point, because you don't. You don't actually have to own land in order to submit a planning application for it.
That's true.
So I'm not dismissing it as not important. It's very important. It is a legal consideration, but it's not actually part of a planning application.
That's
because
true.
You don't actually have to own the land in order to submit a planning application for it. That would be an important dispute to be had, but it would be a different means of doing so.
I think the other point with it though is that it's misleading on the drawing,
Mhm.
it's the garden, and there are lots of
Mhm.
garden it actually is.
Mhm.
That's my
So I think
point,
that's
my
Yeah.
point, yeah.
Right way goes at the back of the
Yeah.
garden for the people next
It
door.
would be useful, I'm not trying to give more stuff for you to do, but it would be for you to do, to go and get legal advice. on
I'm
that.
going to do that as well.
Yeah.
I'm already talking to the lawyer about it.
Thank you.
Ruth, have you got
It may
an
just be a
additional
useful
point?
Point of information, but I've had correspondence about this case, and the case officer has said that she's going to raise the issue of the land ownership, because the application form said all the land is under the ownership
That's right.
of
No,
the
that's
applicant.
incorrect.
Yes.
And the two drawings are contradictory, so
Yes.
she's asking the applicant to provide the correct information on
Yes.
that as we go, because what's actually happening is the case officer is dealing with changes as they go.
Yes, okay.
To iron out the problems
Sure.
that where we can, and the land ownership one maybe.
Yes, because for example, it's not just that they've just done it on one drawing, they've done it on two. So for example, the room layout drawing, they've got a blue dotted line that goes along our house, and it's a detached house, and we have, for example, our gas meter in the alley, it's a right of way access, so they definitely, that's not where the party line is. And also I have got a party wall survey, which obviously surveyed the entire wall, which they don't own.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's really,
Thank you.
really good that we've got full awareness of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Welcome.
So, we're taking 20 minutes for the first one.
Yeah, that's it. You haven't got any other requests to speak?
Okay,
Yeah.
right, okay. No, actually for the first planning
Yes,
application, yes.
yes.
I'm just thinking, that's about 5 hours, no. Okay, let's move, that was in fact the second one on the agenda,
Yeah.
wasn't
We're
it?
going, now we're on to 5, aren't we? So
Yeah.
we start with
You can start, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 5B is in fact that issue that we just been
Yes,
talking
yeah,
about.
we're gonna
5A,
start with
so
A.
we go back to 5A.
A, yeah.
Which is to remove condition 7 of planning permission erection of the removal of condition 7 of planning permission HU 18398, which is for the building of 6 houses and garages, Farthings Farm Cottage, relating to permitted development rights. Any issues on this one? Anyone wants to raise?
I've examined this one a little bit, and basically what it is there's the old permission for the erection of these 6 houses dating back to 1998. And condition 7 for all of those 6 houses essentially removed permitted development rights. I mean, the brief description on it was no extensions, but essentially it removed permitted development rights, and the applicant essentially thinks that in this day and age, you know, planning frameworks have changed and other developments have happened at other places, and that it's no longer appropriate for that condition to be in place. I can't really say whether it is or whether it isn't. So my view is I wouldn't go as far as to a support or an object on this. I would just go with a no comment, essentially, and leave it in the hands of the planners.
Any alternative views? Okay, let's move on to.
Is that,
Sorry,
sorry,
Jo.
yeah,
do
just
we-
make sure that everyone supports that, no comment, yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
5C is,
We haven't decided what we're going to do on the.
No, that's right. We need B first.
oh, do we need,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to note the comments from
Yes. From
Jill, was it? No, not.
no, it was Jenny Caparilli.
As a side note to this, don't know if it needs to be minuted or you decide whether it needs to be minuted or not.
Mhm.
But I will, under my HDC cap, look at the HMO licensing and just that HMO aspect of it.
Mhm.
But not sure whether that falls within the remit here.
No. Thank you.
Is there any other action in terms of tracking this through the planning, HGC planning?
I'm not sure, but I was just going to kind of comment on what Councillor Olsen had said about this. He'd written in about the
Yes.
applications in Forest and Shepherd and Oak Hill. His initial recommendation is to defer to HCC planning officers, but he notes all the concerns that have been raised and that work has already started on this plot site. The ward councillors have been engaged quite a bit with residents on this. It had previously been thought that the applicant didn't need planning permission because it was within permitted development rights, but they've now applied for planning permission, so it seems that there's a little bit of uncertainty around that. I think that was to do with how much of the building as it stands at the moment was the original building versus how much of the permitted development rights have already been used by previous extensions. It's possible that more than 6 applicants might live in the property if any rooms are cohabited, and that would require a change and a licence for the property. So the members of the public mentioned up to 12 adults. Well, that couldn't legally happen without a change of use for the building.
Yeah.
And while this application is receiving numerous objections, the applicant seems to be within current regulations, but I think there seems to be sufficient uncertainty around this one. All I would say, I came into this one fresh based on just what was submitted, and I looked at it and went 6-bedroom house, almost non-existent garden. Doesn't that automatically look like overdevelopment? So I think the only reason in which it wouldn't be is if there was a permitted scheme for it to operate as an HMO, which is outside kind of the scope of what we're looking at. So I think even prima facie it looks like overdevelopment on that application. Happy to see what it will do.
I agree with Martin. I think, having spoken with John, I think it's something we need to watch and monitor. I will, as I said, I'll have a look at it from an HMO perspective. But I myself haven't been involved in this prior to this coming year.
Why wouldn't we recommend the most to
I don't think we know enough yet, Chris. Do we know enough to have a position as a parish, as a
No,
town?
the thing is, our position is only going to be to advise councils, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you might say one thing, but the planning officers will always say their own thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But my gut would be, as Martin just said, that it's obviously
Overdevelopment.
unless they're missing something very
Well,
well.
that's
And the neighbour has caused, has reported very personal and serious concerns to it, and we're only advising upwards. I think if this were next to me, I would be very, very upset.
I think a lot of the points that were raised were largely of either a planning compliance and enforcement or a building control nature, which is not to dismiss them in any way, and we may well want to actually contact relevant teams as a town council outside of the planning application response, but obviously for the application we have to comment on the scheme that's actually before us, and almost irrespective of what's actually been built, because if what's been built is different to the application, then once again that would be a would be an enforcement case rather than
Yeah.
a reason to actually refuse the application. But I do think that I do think there's serious concerns around overdevelopment and also around the potentially the drawings and the scheme as presented not being accurate, even to the extent that statements are made in it about land ownership, which may not actually be correct. So it's a case of whether we're actually asking, asking for refusal, or whether we're highlighting a series of items that we have serious concerns about to do with this application. I think probably we don't necessarily know enough to recommend refusal, but we do know enough to raise a series of concerns with it that need to be ironed out before any consent is given.
Yeah, and I suppose that once it comes to committee, we need to be prepared to speak as parish council at that committee meeting.
Yeah. Is everybody agreed?
So,
So-
so to be clear, you want to object citing overdevelopment as a material planning consideration? Is that what you're saying?
I would say, that's what we need to know.
I think we've got enough information to point to that.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the proposal, and that we object on the grounds of overdevelopment.
Yeah. And who would like to propose that? Sorry, was that Councillor Buffy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
All in favour?
Yeah, agreed. Favour.
Thank you.
So 5C, this is Farm Avenue. Direct front porch and creation of front hard standing and driveway.
Anyone in opposition?
Well, I know this street very well because I lived
I know-
there for 10 years.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I know the street. This isn't to do with
No.
our friend. Okay.
Not that it matters, but it's
No.
towards the top end of the street.
Yeah.
Although I think it's the first one on back side of the street proposing this kind of porch design. There are already two other existing front porches on the other side of the street with hard standing that look pretty much like this. So it's not out of keeping. It's not unusual for that street. It doesn't set any kind of new precedent, and I haven't seen any objections to it on the fourth either.
Okay.
So
All right.
I propose no objection.
So
All agreed? Any points?
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
do you want to record that as one as no comment, or did you want to
There's only
support?
difference between no comment and no objection. I know some others tend to
Yeah.
say no objection, but
So no comment is when you consider the application doesn't warrant a response. So it's more sort of neutral.
yeah.
Yeah, you like that? So no comment.
No comment?
Is-
That's proposed. Everyone
so
agreed to that?
Councillor Buffy
Oh,
yeah.
proposed, and who is anyone? Thank you. This week. And do you want to do a vote? Sorry, make sure everyone's in agreement.
Yes, so is
Yeah.
all in agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
5D is 22 Fay Road, Horsham. Single-storey re-extension with open front porch and replacement of existing garage with larger garage. Anyone familiar with this one? Or any comments on this?
I just want to check something on this one, but I believe Denmead Council already responded on this one and said that they had no objection on it. So it must have been one within the kind of
In the handover.
interregnum. But unless anyone disagrees, I'm not kind of inclined to do anything that's out of alignment with that if they've already looked at it once.
No.
Yeah, parish comments. Den Neighbourhood Council has no objection to this application. So
Okay. I think that's no change from that position. I'd say.
No, that's right. This is a street I know. It's in my area as well. But I can see just by looking at the houses around, they also have large garages. I can't see the reason why.
Okay, all agreed to
so,
concur with Den Neighbourhood Council.
No objections. Councillor Boffey proposed. Is there someone? Thank you, Councillor Frank. And you said everyone's in agreement. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
The next one is 5E, that's Cheely's, Burford Road, Horsham. 2 dormers to front elevation. I guess that's 2 dormer windows in the attic. Cheely's. Anyone know Cheely's?
I don't know it. I've looked at it. I mean, again, Councillor Olsen had commented on this one, saying that the front elevation dormers, when done with good quality design and adequate scale, should be permitted, particularly with gable roof lines rather than flat roofs. It says there are good and bad examples of nearby properties around the corner on Highland. Proposed elevations do seem of good quality design. Would note it would be better aesthetically to have windows that match the ground floor. Okay. It's interesting this one because they've got 2 dormers on the front and they're proposing to add 2 dormers on the back as well. But they don't need to apply the planning permission on those because they're on the back.
Yeah.
I mean, having looked at the images, it looks like it could be quite small dormers if you ask me. But I don't really have a view on it either way.
No objection from me. No.
So have a proposer for no objection?
No comment that one, I think.
No comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I propose that.
Yeah, Councillor Grant, thank you. And second, second.
Can I second?
You can.
I can. Okay, I will second.
Thank you.
All agree?
Very powerful, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is Envision House, 5F. North Street. I haven't looked at this one actually. This looks like it's for change of use of class, offices and first and second floors to form 18 residential units. So it's conversion from offices to flats, 5 bedroom flats and 5 1-bedroom flats and 13 2-bedroom flats.
So Envision House is above, it's just up from Crate before you get to Parkside, so Charlotte Way. So it's kind of an office building above, and there's an estate agent, possibly another estate agent underneath at the moment. Envision Farmer were in there, which is why it's called that, I assume.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So. From looking at the existing design, it looks like it's really divided up into small offices up there already. I don't know exactly how they're using the space, but that's how it's carved up at the moment. And the proposal here is to turn it into 18 flats. They seem to propose that the parking that was available for the office space would be available for the residential, whether or not it's adequate or not. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a change of use because presumably they can do this under permitted development.
Good location.
Seeing as Councillor Fletcher's here, I wondered if she might be able to enlighten us on where this might sit within policy considerations.
I was thinking, I'm not sure, but I know.
Okay.
Because there are some quite significant political development rights to enable you to move from an obsolete business use to residential use. I don't know what the situation is on this, despite it being manufactured. So I don't know.
I mean, if I can say in principle, if as a concept, I think, converting an unused building into residential in the town, right in the town, seems to be a good thing to do. I guess the question in my mind is making sure the building's the right construction and all the rest of it for residential purposes. But that's
I think it raises a couple of questions. I think, yes, crying out for small properties, I assume it should be
1 and 2
for
bedrooms.
purchase or for let. 1 and 2 bedrooms, which the district is crying out for, the town is crying out for. And then on the other hand, this is another erosion of commercial space within the town. And I assume this is being the conversion to residential is because whoever currently owns the building, I'm assuming this, is untenanted. I don't know how long it's been untenanted for, that commercial space. So I suppose that's what's motivating it. But there is a point to consider about loss of more commercial space. Whether that's a material consideration for us as a town council to consider, I'm not sure, but it's a point worth
loss of
considering.
commercial space is a consideration. It's an important one.
Yeah.
It may depend on whether they've gone through the appropriate marketing processes to prove that there is no viable use as under the current use class, which is why they want to change it. Or they may, if they just want to change it without going through that process, they'd have to apply. I don't know in which situation. So.
Horsham Blueprint Policy 9, key employment areas, prohibits the loss of employment floor space in commercial premises, including offices in designated key employment areas like the town centre. To change the site for alternative use, strict criteria apply, such as showing proof of an extensive marketing campaign and prioritising employment-led redevelopment. I don't think we know enough about whether there's the evidence to that, but I mean, I think given our situation as a brand new council and this is our first planning meeting, I hope the district council would agree that a degree of latitude here. It's difficult because I have mixed feelings about it in terms of actually there are benefits to providing this sort of accommodation in the town centre, but as we have a neighbourhood plan policy here, I think it would be appropriate for us to object on the basis of we believe it may not be in accordance with policy HB9 of the neighbourhood plan.
Yeah,
unless the district council is in receipt of sufficient evidence to prove otherwise.
I'm sort of with you on that, in that we should at least request that the HDC demonstrate that they have taken account of that policy, if you like, in consideration of this before it's gets through.
In fact, as you can say, it's great to have more accommodation in the town centre. That's true. It's also true that we have to look into the business. So let's say no comment on it. Is that what you're saying? Or?
I think so. I mean, it'd be good to use it for residential if it's sort of surplus to requirement, but this policy is there to check essentially that it is surplus to requirement. So
you could do no objections subject to conditions. You could weave it in that way.
That's where I was going with it, that we should, as a town council, demonstrate to ourselves that that consideration of existing policy in regard to commercial properties has been undertaken.
The blueprint. I think you way the accommodation or business according to what the.
But then I've seen sometimes on committee reports that an objection was raised by the parish, and then further information is brought forward, and then the parish view is revised. So I think I might front foot it a little bit more as an objection on the basis of policy HD9 However, if
That would work
sufficient
as well.
evidence is presented to demonstrate compliance with the policy, then we might reconsider our position.
I think that's a really good
Okay,
position.
Yeah.
to take.
Are you seconding
I
that
could
then?
support that, yeah.
okay. All in favour of that?
Right.
Yeah,
Are you
Thank
happy
you.
with
yes,
how
thank you.
we're going to document that?
Yes,
Jill, thanks.
that's right. Thank you.
Interesting one. Interested to find out how that adds up.
So the next one is Horsham Police Station, Hurst Road. So removal and replacement of 3 antenna and 1 equipment cabinet. So it's just removal
I'd
of
like to
works.
propose no objection.
No objection. No objection.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Martin.
Wonderful. Everyone's in agreement, I think.
Everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Good, they are.
Thank you.
Let's move on to 5H, which is for surgery to a sycamore, 1 holly and 1 lime tree. They are in the conservation area in Norfolk Terrace.
Well, in terms of the map and the images that come up, the first thing kind of is an enormous array of trees.
Okay.
So I think probably surgery is
No objection from
needed.
Okay.
I mean, I think, this will go through the team at HCC. Well-named Andy Bush, I believe, from the team will be all over. We'll do quite a lot of this one, so I think we kind of need to leave this one in there. Professional.
No comment.
Okay.
Was it no,
No objection.
was it no objection? No.
no
Yep.
objection.
No objection.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
So that's Councillor Frank. Is there someone to second?
Yeah, I'll
Thank
second
you.
that.
Thank you.
All agreed?
Wonderful. Thank you.
And in not dissimilar, 5I's surgery to a maple, Richmond Road. Yes.
No objection.
Do you live there?
For this, no.
No.
For the same reason was stated in the previous.
Yeah. So that's Councillor Grant proposing. I'll second that.
Thank you.
All agree?
All agreed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there's another one. Surgery to 3 lime, 2 magnolia and holly trees, and a hedge at Millay. Same
It's
detail?
not the school, it's the cul-de-sac.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
Any reason this is different to any of the others?
no objection from myself.
Okay,
Unless anyone else
I think John had sent something on this, actually.
okay.
I think it was saying, is this Jay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think he said
The
recommendation.
trees do not seem individually significant, and the application does not seek to remove the trees, but rather to prune and trim them back to previous pruning and trim lines. So it's a wide TPO area and doesn't have any objection to it. So.
Okay. I'll propose no objection.
Thank you.
Seconder, Chris Frank. All agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Next one, Waterfield Close, number 6, demolition of a single-storey garage, single-storey re-extension and conservatory, and erection of single-storey attached garage, 2-storey side extension and single-storey rear extension. So, anyone know anything about this one?
So I had a bit of a look at this one. Essentially, it's 2-storey because they're building over the top of an existing garage, which they're going to turn into the ground floor of the house, and then build a new garage adjacent to it. And quite a lot of the stuff is out the back as well, but it's in a corner. It doesn't have any properties adjacent to it on that side. So I agree with a lot of what John said in his email, that this as well.
Oh, I see.
While it's a large extension, the siting of the house at the end of the street where no building would be likely or able to occur to the northwest, built with limited impact on any neighbouring properties. It doesn't lead to overlooking or, invasion of anyone's privacy. So no real objections other than the fact he doesn't like render, but apparently there's other render properties around there already, so probably wouldn't be appropriate to.
I don't think it would. I couldn't support that. I mean, I don't like render. Well, probably not for the record, but I think it's of interest.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, so no comment. Is
No
that what we're
comments?
proposing?
No objection, no comment.
No objection.
I'll do that, no
Yeah.
objection.
Seconded.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've got a totally rendered house, I think that render it would fall down, so.
Yours has been rendered for a very long time,
Yeah.
but it's not the sort of render he means.
No. No, it's the stuff that's
Your
paper thin.
structural rendering,
Yeah. It doesn't, but yours also doesn't go green, does it?
No.
What happens, brown or black or whatever, what happens to most rendered buildings.
I do, yes.
So we've got Councillor Boffey and Councillor Grant second.
We all agree?
Yeah.
All agreed?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Let's go to Collier School on Hurst Road, installation of temporary single-storey office building and a single-storey double classroom building. Sounds like a
which one is this?
I, 5I.
No, it's
L.
L.
Sorry, L,
Yes.
yes, yeah.
I had a look at the plans on this one and I found it quite hard to fathom, really. But part of me sort of thinks they've already got temporary buildings there. It's the school that applied for it because they need it. But there was a comment from the conservation officer actually at HBC about the number of temporary buildings that are on site.
Okay.
And it's, is that sort of starting to become the dominant feature of it?
Are these-
It would be good to get some kind of clarity on timescales that these various temporary structures are going to be in place for. So I don't know whether there's scope for us to sort of comment that we don't have an objection in principle, but we agree with the observations of the HDC conservation officer that clarity over timescales
Yeah.
would be helpful.
Yeah,
or
yes,
desirable.
you can do support with comments, so it means you support the principle in, the application in principle, but you've got some observations or suggestions, so that could cover.
It's two buildings, and it seems obvious, we just have to double check that, are they both temporary? Whereas the single story office temporary and the classroom permanent? In terms of clarity.
Well,
Yeah, it's not clear in the wording on here, is it? So I think we could ask for clarification of that as well, I suppose, could we?
Yes, but you obviously, it's a tight turnaround. You only get 3 weeks to do your comments.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be, unless obviously they're going to extend, you wouldn't have an opportunity to come back to the next planning committee, but you could feed in the comments, like
yeah.
Councillor Boffey said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what we need to understand whether this is temporary because they're planning to build permanent, it's short-term capacity, or is it temporary because they've got a short-term capacity requirement, it's going to go away again and then they can take them away again.
yeah.
They are, I'm not mistaken, they are already going to be doing extra building, and maybe they need to have put some capacity while they're doing this building.
Yeah,
But we can't be sure. I mean, the office is definitely temporary. We don't know whether the classrooms are temporary or not, but I suspect that they are because I think they wouldn't be building single story if it was permanent.
no,
They'd be going
Yeah.
2 story because most of the rest of the campus is. But I think again, they need capacity. It's the sixth form provision in the area. I would be inclined to support it, but with comment that, but we also support the comment of the conservation officer that a clear timeline of the duration for the temporary structures would be desirable, and it would also be helpful to have clarification over whether the double classroom, this single-storey double classroom, is temporary or permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still wouldn't oppose it if it was temporary. I think it's just clarity and information
Yeah.
would be helpful.
Okay, that's the proposal. I'll second that. Are we all agreed with that approach?
Thank you.
Longhurst Avenue, Horsham. The proposal is a part conversion of a garage into habitable living space with mezzanine level over and new window to western elevation. This is in, as I say, Longhurst Avenue. Where
So
that
this
is.
is on Highwood.
Oh, okay.
I had a look at the designs for this, and there's really not a lot of impact because there's no additional building. It's conversion of existing space. The only other thing that's being added is this window on this mezzanine level that's not there at the moment, but it's out the back. But there's already upstairs windows looking out that way, so I don't really see any particular impact of it. So I would recommend no objection or no comment.
I'll second that.
Okay, we all agreed?
Yeah, agreed.
So what, sorry, just to clarify, is it no objection, no comment? Did you want no objection?
I think we said no
Okay,
objection.
thank
Yeah.
you.
West Street. Approval of the reserve details by condition 1 and 2 to an already approved applications. So does anyone know what the conditions were? This is an application to approve those details.
So there's two applications on West Street.
Mm.
I hope it comes to queue in a minute. This is part of the applications one. What this is this is what used to be Poundland that's now going to be Savers on West Street. And it's the I think this bit more details to the conversion of the space above to flats, which has largely been done.
Mm.
I think the conditions were to do with construction management plan and noise assessments or something like that. I know the Horsham Society objected to the original application, but the application was granted subject to conditions. So I think, but it's quite technical really. I think we kind of need officers to determine whether the conditions have been met or not. I don't think we have the expertise in any way to assess that.
So you're making no comments?
I think
because we don't have that planning at HCC. Is this something that would likely go to committee?
no, you hardly ever get a discharge of conditions.
No, because this is
No. So that there will be submitted documentation that documents whether how the conditions have been discharged. It'll be up to the planning officer to
support subject to HTC officers being content that the conditions have been met.
Yeah, that in a way is making a comment, isn't it?
Yeah.
okay.
Was it the accommodation then?
Yeah. So the space above Savers is now flat. I've seen quite a lot of it with the work happening from Barbara's office actually. I mean, the work's been done, so the question here is, can the conditions be discharged? And I suggest we support the discharge of the conditions as long as the officers at HTC are content that they've been met.
Yeah.
I will second that.
Are we agreed on that one?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.
Over the page, surgery, poplar trees. at Alden Court, Bishoprick.
It's on the den side. What would that license for?
Yeah,
Might be similar with the other ones.
it
as
is
well.
really. I can't.
No,
Anyone know any reason why it isn't?
no.
Okay. So no
No
objection. I'll propose that if you like.
Thank you.
And seconder, Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Martin.
All three?
I've
Thank
got that.
you.
Yeah. Next one concerns render. Short warning for
My
you.
ward colleague has made a comment on this.
Sorry.
My ward comment, John, has made a
Okay.
Yes.
substantial comment on this.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So yeah, this is Bethlem Road, Horsham. Replacement of facing brickwork with render.
And he's,
Front porch and
his advice, as you know, within the interest as a ward council, to us is to consider to object. Basically on the grounds that it would be out of keeping with the rest of the properties in that area. And there's some detail about it, but essentially it would be out of keeping with the area. I think we've all seen that out.
Yep.
So my, I don't know if anyone wants to comment on that or have anything to say. Anyone?
Well, I think it is important, and I think if we have a view, we must express it.
I'm in agreement with John on this. I do think that it would stick out, would be prominent to the, maybe perhaps overbearing, and so I support that sentiment to object, and I'd like to propose that we do object to that.
Just before we do, can I ask if you're aware of any other sort of residents' views on it, or have any come forward?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, just checking.
I can look up and see if there's any on the board.
I think, yeah, let's do that, because I think.
I don't remember seeing it when I looked it up. But I don't disagree with John either. I think it's going to be out. It's going to be not in keeping with the rest of the cul-de-sac. No, there's no responses from anyone at the moment on the portal.
Okay, but I don't think it changes our
No, I mean,
proposal.
this is quite a substantial piece that has come to us, and I, from my fellow councillor who submitted it to us as a committee. And so I do support what he's saying, and therefore I recommend that we consider to, as a town council, to object to this proposal.
You seconding that one, Tony?
I'm happy to second that one. Are we all agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah, thank you.
The next one again is West Street.
Same story.
Oh, is it? Installation of one internally illuminated fascia sign, letters only, and one internally illuminated double-sided projecting sign. So is this sitting on the
projecting
street?
Sign is one that sticks out and you see it as you walk up and down West Street.
Yes.
It's for the Savers shop, and they're proposed illuminated signs. And there's been objections to this one already from both the Horsham Society and Den Council. Den was on the basis that the large white fascia with illuminated letters, which we consider will dominate the street scene, we do not consider the illumination as necessary but if permitted, it should only be turned on during business hours, and not for 24 hours, as there will be residences above, i.e. the flats we just spoke about.
I think it's a very sensible position.
And Horsham Society said reasons for their objection was design, loss of amenity and other. They've said our objection relates to the proposed signs being internally illuminated. This is both unnecessary given the overall size of the proposed signage and out of keeping with and detrimental to the street scene.
I think I support that.
If I was commenting, I would as well, actually, and I'm not even sure that if it were to go ahead, that operating hours shouldn't be, if in the winter it's dark at 4 o'clock, if in your flat at 7 or 8 o'clock, when the store might be open at certain times, then I'm not even sure that would be great for residents. So I would be. I think there's quite a lot of debate in the town about the look and feel of that street.
Yeah.
And if anyone was at the last planning meeting, the application for the big swan caused some debate. So I do think we are, it is on us really to think carefully about putting street furniture in that street.
So I think I'm sorry.
Yeah, just going to sort of other unions projecting signage in the school. What street is it?
Just a sec, Ruth. There isn't generally, and I think that's a good point. There is an application for something different, which would also be effectively illuminated signs. But if your point is that this would be a departure from what is the norm at the moment, I think that's correct. But I'll go to Ruth, actually, if that's all right.
Sure.
Nick, do you mind?
I think this is just outside the boundaries of the conservation area, where it's generally not acceptable to have illuminated signs. And so it will have an impact on the conservation area by being illuminated because of the heat.
Okay,
Because it's like very close to it.
good point. So if we can note that as part of our objective as well, Nick.
Yeah, I'd like to broaden it. So obviously we're a town council, and I think that part of our responsibility also is to consider the street scene, the look and feel, the amenity of our town, and that we can, and to give that under our umbrella, if you like, that sort of, a certain amount of care. I certainly, and this is a personal view, but the homogenisation of the high street, the hickledy-pickledy, everyone's branding, all different, it's all, mayhem, just above eye level. And I think that's something that we, as a town council, could potentially look at in future meetings outside of this, to have a view on how we'd like our town to look and feel going forward, because it is a very special place that we all care about very deeply. Thank you.
Thanks. Are you going to minute that
Yes.
next point there?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, so we are, I think, proposing to object to this with the note regarding the proximity to the conservation area and perhaps a departure to the normal environment that prevails at the mean, if that covers it. Does that cover it?
The Horsham Society, the reasons they picked were design and loss of general amenity when they put their consultation responses. So.
Yeah.
And indeed, if Dan have already objected, then it is not with us really to change that. I don't think that'd be a great first
I
action.
don't see any reason to depart from or overrule what they've done. So.
No.
All right, so I will make that proposal.
Yeah.
Seconder,
I'll second that.
all agreed?
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Greenway. Shall I talk about this for a minute?
Yeah.
Just give everyone the background to this. So the background to this is that an application was approved in October 2023 for the rebuild of Greenway School in Greenway. And the big picture is that the existing Greenway School is now 65 years old and has, significant sort of issues with its structure, including RAC and generally, falling apart. It is, however, a fantastic school. So it is great that they are getting a new school on the same site. So in principle, this is a great project. As I say, the application was approved in October 2023, and there have been some delays along the way with the initial contractors not being able to fulfil the contract because of cost overruns, etc. So they went through a re-procurement process, if you like. And the current situation is that the new contractors, developers, are going through the process of discharging the conditions, the three principal conditions, pre-commencement conditions that were set as part of that original planning application. Okay?
Yeah.
One is associated with drainage, the other is associated with fire safety concerns, and the third is I think it's to do with Bill. I can't remember actually, Martin. You might remember, but the situation currently is that they are endeavouring to discharge those conditions, basically to supply all the documentation, procedure, and processes, and have those approved, so that they can initiate work in advance of October this year. Otherwise, the current approved application falls. Right, they submitted that documentation set on the 15th of May. And in general, we might expect a 6 or 8 week process for those to be approved. Okay. So that is the current situation, really. So that is what we're here really to decide whether we object to or not, or to support. So this is an application, as I say, to demonstrate effectively that those pre-commencement conditions have been met. So they will go to, and they have already gone to, the planning group. I've met with the planning officer today, actually, regarding this, and in terms of what we can do about it, we can't really do much to comment on it. It is with them; these are technical issues that they will determine have either been met or not. Now, the bit more background of this is that there are residents on Merrifield Drive who will be very significantly affected by this, and have indeed already been very significantly affected by this, because this planning and development process has been running on for so long. And because the plan approved, the approved plan is one where the school is being moved from one part of the site to another, it does impact those people. Yeah.
If I remember right, this has come to HTC planning before.
Yes.
1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, October 23
I
is
remember
when
your
it got passed.
description. Thank you.
Yeah. So, so in any consideration of communication, we need to be very sensitive to those residents for whom this is, quite a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I can't really say much more than that. There might, if the conditions are met and planning and the build is initiated, then on we go. It is not without possibility that the developers might come in with an alternative or an amendment to the planning application, but that would have to be dealt with if and when it turns up. Okay.
So they want to amend the planning application, but then what they're trying to do is preserve their existing consent, so that it is an amendment to an existing planning application, rather than having to submit a new one. That's what they're attempting to do. The conditions are 3, 4, 5, and 6. One is to do with no development shall commence until a drainage strategy detailing the process, means of, etc., is in place. 4 is around making sure that there's full details of underground services in place, including locations, dimensions and depths of all existing and proposed services and service facilities. And I got this one put in myself as the ward councillor at the time, including the existing draining pipe adjacent to the western site boundary along Merrifield Drive and any connections onto Greenway. The 5th condition is to do with retention of trees on site or replacement thereof, and also stuff to do with fences and maintenance of fences and so on, and hedges. And the 6th one, the 5th one, is it's been demonstrated to the satisfaction of fire and rescue that the fire appliance can gain access to within 15% of the perimeter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's quite a technical one, which we need to rely on officers assessing the information that's been submitted. And for the most part, that's the same as the rest of this stuff. But in terms of the drainage pipe condition, there has been quite a lot, because this discharge of conditions for this has been applied for twice and rejected twice, both times on the grounds that insufficient information about the drainage was actually submitted. And new contractors are in place now on this. But you know, the residents who asked for this consideration of the drainage pipe were consistently disappointed to see that it was not really shown or mentioned in what had gone in. So, and I can't read, all that's been attached to this so far is drawings, which I'm not an expert, so I can't read them and know whether it's covering these things off. But I'm just looking for because a request was made to me this is a couple of years ago now, but we're at that point. If members agree with this, I can always provide it to Jill in detail to include in any submission. But we expect, this is the residents, we expect HDC to request the developers to 1, submit accurate drainage plans that show the pipe along the western boundary and advise how this will be maintained going forward, particularly as it is planned to plant trees over it. 2, submit revised plans and documentation to show what mitigating action will be taken to ensure that gardens along the western boundary are not flooded. And 3, factor in additional drainage solutions to drain the school playing field so that flooding currently suffered by the gardens in Merrifield Drive ceases. So some of that is around enhancement rather than mitigation of what they do, but as the residents have said, this is an ideal opportunity to take mitigating steps to prevent flooding. But we can't tell from looking at there whether this has been fully taken into account or not. So I would like, in some way, for us to highlight this point as part of the town council's response, whether we're doing it. I don't know whether you can do that if you're saying kind of no objection or no comment or what. I'm not sure.
So you can do because you don't want to support it, do you?
No.
I mean, no objection subject to conditions. And
so I think that's probably the point, because we don't, you know, I mean, the whole thing is about conditions, but I think it's no objections subject to the conditions being fully met as assessed by officers. But I think I would like to be a bit more prescriptive about what we think that actually means to include.
Would you like to expressly mention the drainage?
Yes.
Yeah. And just further to that, actually, I, with the planning officer concerned today, particularly mentioned that point. So to make sure that in his consideration of the discharge conditions papers, that is properly assessed, because there has been, I agree, there's been confusion about that final leg of drainage, where it goes, under which properties it goes, and whether it's working or not.
Yeah.
and whether it's been properly surveyed. So, yeah, I think that
Yeah.
what are we saying? No, we're saying no comment. No,
So
we're saying
no objections, subject to conditions. And I think Councillor Boffin suggested that he
Yeah.
could give me the text.
Yeah, will do.
That,
Okay.
Yeah, that I can make sure that that goes in with your comments.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we action me to? Is there an action for me in that? And that I'm one of the ward councillors and probably most associated with this one, or is that not necessary?
I don't think that'd be necessary. I
No,
think
okay.
you are consultees, and obviously you would have your hat on then as your district councillor, and here you're the
Yeah,
you're
you
the
can't
town.
take-
I can copy you in when I send
Yeah.
the text through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Jill.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So I will second that proposal
Councillor
that
Roffey,
Martin's
yes.
made,
Thank you.
and are we all agreed to that?
Yeah, agreed.
Great.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time on that one.
Brilliant.
Bedford Avenue, installation of dropped curb and driveway. Any reason why not?
Does anyone have a strong view?
There are occasions when these do get
No, I know.
objected to.
So I know there's issues in Saxon Crescent around this at the moment.
Mm.
But I don't think that's really where this is located, because I looked at it, this is, I don't think it's further down than that, it's not where that comes out. It's on the west side of the road, on Bedford Avenue.
Okay.
There's a lot of driveways along there have got vehicle crossovers, and I think some of them have been added over time. This would be the first one that I can see that would be a double vehicle crossover, because normally they're kind of hard standing in the front of their house enough to take two vehicles, but there's a kind of a single drop curb to get on. This one's applying to have a double drop curb essentially, and it would be the first one that is. So I don't really have a view one way or the other on this, and I think I'm probably a little bit too close to it, so I'd be looking to see what others think. But whether it could then set a precedent for more of them happening and losing more verges, I don't know. But I do know the reason that this is even being applied for is because of the category of the road. If this was on one of the side roads, you wouldn't have to apply for planning permission. You just apply for a licence to have a drop curb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a category C road. You can't put in a drop curb without planning permission first. So that's why it's coming to us. And I do remember years ago on the other side of Bedford Avenue, closer towards Warnham Road, an application coming in and they put in a drop curb there. But that was a first one rather than a double one. I think I've probably said enough now. I'll see whether people have a view on whether we're on this.
I mean, there's a, just looking at it online here, there is a drop curb just further down the street.
I think this property already has a single drop curb.
Yeah.
It's increasing it to double.
And is it taking away any grass verge?
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's
Grass
grass
verge,
verge.
because grass
Yeah.
verge is all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the hedge road is using it.
Yes.
I think it's that one.
No, it's on the other side of the road.
That's a road, isn't it?
It's further down that way.
What number was it? 15. Yeah, it's
It's after you get past Red River Court, both it's
I'm not sure, but
it's the road. Because the numbers are much lower on that side of the street than on the other side. I think it's after the football pitch and everything.
That would be wonky numbers because they're going higher and higher. The 80s and 90s.
But is it an even number?
15.
Odd number. Yeah.
I'll show you number 13 and one next one.
yeah, me too. I think I'm looking at the same picture. Yeah, I think it's on that corner of Saxon Crescent, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I looked at the wrong one then.
So So it's a yeah. It
It's
would
on the
have an
corner,
impact.
isn't it?
Sorry?
It looks like it's on the corner, doesn't it?
Well, it's this house
Yes.
on the corner.
Well, maybe that is the one that the neighbours council were talking about then.
So yeah. It's not quite so straightforward, is it?
I would just say, if they have this, then everyone else will want it, then we will lose on green verges and green hedges.
On the flip side of that, isn't it the reality that households are often now multiple car owners, and there's a real issue with parking space.
Yes. So if you look at the house further down the street, it's done exactly the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's the one on the corner.
Yes, that's right.
That is going to be what was being spoken about at the neighbourhood council. I think. 1500.
That's 13, it's got 30 on the door.
Right.
So I presume
It's this one here. Oh, right. So it's only a single.
Is it the house on the corner, or is it? It is. Okay.
But then the house on the corner on the other side has got one already.
On the other corner.
So 13.
So it has. Yeah.
yes, it does. Yes.
Sorry, 17.
17. Yeah.
It's one of the double.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
right.
one house, and that's like a double.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of hard to oppose them having what their neighbour the other side of the street has got. On that basis, I have the wrong property. I don't know how I got the wrong one. So I don't think on that basis, I don't think I object to that.
I think it is, you keep right, there are more cars.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we didn't have cars and just.
It'd be nice to have a different technical solution, but right now we don't.
I mean, and let's not forget that we're assessing this on planning grounds. They will need to get a vehicle crossover licence from highways, and highways will do the technical analysis as to whether it's safe and the distances and everything or not. They will do that.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to propose that?
I have no objection.
No objection.
I second that.
All agree?
Frank.
I agree.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right. That's the. Those are all the agenda items for planning applications that are current.
Yes.
Item 6 is to note withdrawn planning applications, and there are none at the moment.
Noted.
Thank you. Item 7 is planning decisions, to receive and note the latest decisions already taken by Horsham DC. I guess that all we need to do with these is just note them,
Yes.
unless anyone particularly
Exactly.
identifies anything that
Can we note those on block?
should be commented. That's what I'm proposing. Yeah. Unless anyone speak now, forever hold your peace. Is what I'm saying, I suppose.
It's too late now, but I would. No, I won't say anything because I'll get minuted. It was only to do the silence.
He's going to do anyway, isn't he?
I'm going to do
On the
it.
pub,
Yeah.
the Crown.
I was going to say the
Yeah.
meeting.
Crown Hotel Carfax.
I was just going to say as well, the meeting is being recorded. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So on the this has been done, and so we have no comments. But my side note to this would be just to understand more about the signage regarding the Crown Hotel. It seems that there's quite a lot of artwork going up there, and I don't know what the impact that would have again on the street scene and the amenity. But I would just note that, and I think we'll leave that there unless any other councillors have anything they think relevant on that.
No, I think so.
Noted.
To be noted. So councillor Boffey proposed that. Are you second that, councillor Grant? Yeah.
Aye.
Thank you.
So are we, do we need to propose that we are noting these, all
yeah,
these items,
second.
or are you talking about councillor Grant's specific?
No, I was talking about en bloc. Councillor
En bloc.
Boffey suggested,
Fine,
and then
yeah.
councillor Grant second. So if
Okay.
you're all in agreement,
Are we all in agreement to note all of those?
thank you.
I think that is the last item on the agenda.
Yeah,
So with that,
I think we've got item
oh, have we?
where is it?
nothing to consider at this stage, but
No,
we haven't got any correspondence to consider either.
no.
Okay,
There's a
sorry,
missing
I
column.
missed,
That's all right.
missed a page, yeah.
No correspondence, no.
So I think what I'd like to do is thank you all for coming, for voting me into chair. I would comment that I would be better prepared next time with more notice to be the chair.
Very well. Being exceptional.
But I'm generally quite happy to be sitting here telling you what to do.
Thank you.
Next meeting,
Yes.
would it be prudent to just check that?
I think first we need to note the date of the next meeting and then.
Yeah, sorry, you haven't got a gavel.
Okay. Let's note the date of the next meeting,
Yes. And then
23rd of June.
June, yes.
21.
23rd of June.
And then you
with that,
can close the meeting
I
if you're
can close the
happy.
meeting. I'm going to close the meeting with my thumb.
Thank you very much.
Right, let's end the meeting. I am unfortunately not available for the next meeting.